Okay. We need another round of coffee. Okay, friends. Sorry that took a little bit longer than 5 minutes. It occurred to me I needed to completely update the description with all this evacuation information, the links to the cams, the links to all the emergency info. Thank you for returning. This is part 2 of the stream. I've already been live for 11 plus hours, and streams need to be restarted because YouTube doesn't save streams longer than 12 hours, and we want an archive of history. Plus, people can get a lot of information out of the last stream. Now, what we're having is an emergency live before our eyes, where we've just been traumatized by what happened at Hawaii, and we're looking at a fire looming over towns, coming down off the mountain in a somewhat similar way to so many ways we've lost towns before. So, similar to Lahaina, the fire comes from elevation, high winds, red flag. It's not moving quite as fast, of course, but the ridge line that protected the town, where they were probably trying to make the best defense that they could, was violated by the fire. It breached it. And so around 8:30 p.m., or maybe this was 8:30, excuse me, I think. I can't tell anymore. Just as they were about to talk to the public about the possibility of level 3 evacuations, and we're telling the public no, the fire came up over the ridge. So right now it's going down. We've talked to 2 firefighters now, 2 ex-firefighters, one an ex-fire chief, one an ex-wildland firefighter from the region. Both concur, and the firefighters in the chat as well concurred that this is going to travel down to the valley tonight. So take it from them, not exactly me. As soon as I posted this image to Facebook saying, "Are you sure that are you sure we're not going to have level 3 evacuations?" Very soon afterwards, they said yes, and it's already been removed, or they said no. I think maybe not all comments. Whoops. Yeah. So see, not at this time. Chris Luttrell says, "Are you guys going to issue a level 3 4 hours ago?" And they're like, "No, at this time." But should we go to level 3, sign up for the alerts? And I was worried that they were going to do a level 3 evacuation past the point where somebody goes to bed. And lo and behold, that's what happened. There seems to be really the main reason for late evacuation. We see this time and time again in different states. Late evacuation orders from the government when it's plain as day that something needs to happen. Seems to be the bureaucracy red tape system. So I'm not blaming individuals or calling them stupid. I'm calling the system stupid, though, and we got to change it. I've seen this too many times before, so that's what we do here. I asked the question, what stops the fire from going down to the towns? Are we just hoping the weather and the wind direction holds? I'm hoping that there's some lines on the slopes. Can you tell us why this will be okay? And help us understand the pretty scary images live on the camera right now. Thank you. Telling us why it's okay will be more soothing than, well, it's just okay. And yeah, that guy's informing me it's on level 30 and it's on the news. I should probably link the fact that I'm live. Somebody's answering my question. I didn't see this before. Nothing at the moment is stopping the fire from going down to the town. Level 3 north of 126, Highway 126, which connects Bend to Eugene, to Blue River Reservation, pack and go. Red is leave immediately, right? Yeah. So crowdfunded information is golden, you know. So I should post here that I'm live. Should have done that earlier. Should have gone on Twitter. Can you guys tweet my stream? I swear to God, I just forget all this stuff. It's like, what's my own stream? I'm covering the fire live on my fire Wildfire tracking stream. Looking at camps, special guests, real firefighters praying for you all. I don't know what their policy is towards what they would call like self-promotion. I'm not trying to self-promote. I don't give a damn about popularity. I want to give life-saving information to the public. That's what we do here. So, too many times the regulars come in here who have seen me cover the other wildfires, but the people actually affected by them don't see the information, and they come back months later and be like, oh, or a year later and say, oh, I didn't know you covered this stuff live. I wish I found you a year ago. So they may delete this or something, but look, I don't do this for clicks, popularity, whatever. This is not monetized. We need to crowdsource all the information we can about fires, verifiable, calm, reassuring information that will never BS. It's all about giving people the worst, best middle ground scenarios. Let people see what's happening, make the best decision for themselves with all the information we can gather. And right now, this does not look good. We already saw Maui not look good and go from, oh, it's kind of bad out there to, oh, God, crisis. And these are smaller communities. They're easier to evacuate. But like I said, this was done after dark. Like, this was as night fell. I would suggest a policy change now for the nation. Now, because so many times fires these days get ramped up even through the night. Like the hottest part of the day is 6 to 8 p.m. when they can have they're at their full power. That should not be when the public information officers or the public info stops. That should not be when the public can't get any more info, because oftentimes I've seen too many times of fires threaten communities, but all the phone lines are shut down and people can't get the info. People take out their hearing aids, people turn off the TV, people go to bed early in mountain towns. And you should not tell them at 6 p.m. or 8 p.m., no, we're not going to do a level 3 evacuation. I think the policy change should be err on the side of caution. If there's any possibility that you might have to call for a level 3 evacuation, and go now. Like, drop what you're doing, grab your car keys, go now. This means go now, like not in 5 minutes, not in 20 minutes, now. Set down what you're doing, grab the car keys, and go. That's level 3. Emergency in progress. Level 3. If there's any question a level 3 might be called for, I would call for the policy change of by 6 p.m., tell everybody about it. So they still have a couple hours of daylight. I mean, how do you round up your animals and stuff in the dark? How do you really check on your neighbors in the dark? How do you really assess the situation in the dark? It's a nightmare. The traffic collision risk, blah, 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 it all increases after dark. People are sleepy and tired. And if you do a level 3 evacuation after dark, like we saw Tahoe, they tried to evacuate Tahoe at 10 p.m. After telling everybody at 6 p.m. they wouldn't. You know, we see this time and time again. We need to change that policy. Even if it's erring on the side of caution, tell people about a level 3 before 6 o'clock. So there's lessons to be learned here, and we need to blame the system and blame the problem rather than people in order to make effective change. Welcome back, everybody, by the way. And thank you so much for helping me crowdsource this information. Thank you all the donators who have donated to my PayPal. That's the best way to donate. I mean, Super Chat's okay, but YouTube takes 30%. I'm going to put a link back to the Maui charity for the pinned comment. I think I closed it on accident. Now, I don't vet charities. I don't endorse them, but I saw on the BBC the Pacific Whale Foundation was helping people today. The others are taking their sweet time. I mean, they're probably hurrying as fast as they can. But when people need help exactly right now, they were using their boats. This is the wrong one. Shoot. It's a pop-up right here. And I put this where I usually put my own PayPal link. Your funds keep us going. So, but please give to the victims first and think of me with the pocket change afterwards. Okay, so this is the thumbnail that I tried to make, but it was too big for YouTube. YouTube says it's bigger than 2 megabytes. I don't have the freaking time when I'm trying to go back live again to alter the thumbnail. But this is the moment that the crisis really hit, when the flames peaked over the mountain. Well, actually, this is when it got bigger. But you understand, it was around 8:30, right as they were going to meet the public in 3 different places, like ranger stations and stuff. It must have been crazy. People probably showed up to listen to the public information officers. And as they began speaking, the fire just roared over the mountain. Now, this particular ridgeline road that we can see, Caltopo, these are satellite pictures. This one. This had to hold as a defense. You can't have the fire looming over a mountain town. It'll just go down the slope. This was the Great Wall of China. The barbarians broke through. Now I have the links to almost anything you need to know about the Lookout Fire. I didn't think it would get this bad. I was worried about it, but I was thinking that maybe this line would hold better. It did not. And we had the 2 red flag days. We have a red flag night and a red flag day tomorrow. I'm going to need more coffee. So the situation is pretty bad. We may see it roar down and try to take structures tonight. They are ushering in help. The governor has declared a disaster type emergency, or invoked the Conflagration Act, which is a very new bill. Honestly, I don't know the ins and outs, but it means that more resources can come and help. I'm still frustrated with that. I don't think there should ever be any red tape. If resources need to come and help to prevent a fire from getting bigger, that's when they should be applied, not after it got bigger. But anyway, the system could still use some adjustments for sure. But remember, these satellite detections are squares. These are margin of error. These are very up to date. This updated 2 minutes ago. So somewhere within this square is the fire, but we saw it burst over the ridgeline, so it's in here and it's going down. Now the best camera view that we have is here from southwest. This is an ongoing emergency. This has got to be terrifying. This probably looks like a big giant red wall of fire coming down the slope. This is for people understand. We have 2 cameras looking at it from opposite directions. This one, Death Ball Mountain, can't make this up, is the most valuable. It's a front row seat to the chaos. We do a 12-hour, you can see where it all went wrong. It was already looking kind of bad today. I got online around 1 p.m. Sorry, my voice is starting to fail. I'm gonna go get some honey. Whenever the smoke's coming directly at this camera, it's the worst possible news, because that means the town of McKenzie Bridge and Rainbow are in the crosshairs. And as you can see, the smoke's coming toward the camera. So this pushed the fire up over that ridge line, and I looked at it today and thought, Dan, that is not going to hold. They couldn't have any aircraft today. It was too smoky, too windy. They could observe it, but then it broke over, and I thought, oh, God. Now, a warning about infrared. Infrared shows heat and light as bright light. This camera is not calibrated. It's having a problem. The fire is not all the white stuff that you can see. The hot smoke is also white, but frustratingly, it's overwhelming the camera's sensor. The camera's not adjusting. So we can't see the details of where exactly the fire is. We just know that it's gone down a canyon. It's marching down. There are trailer parks and habitations, golf courses, and then, of course, the town. I've driven through there, and this is a heartbreak. I was trying to visit Belknap Hot Springs and trying to get people to go with me. It's one of the most relaxing places you can go because it's got a big hot spring swimming pool. The historical treasure. There's a lot to lose down here. Really wonderful little communities, many homes, beautiful forest. The little bit of the forest that escaped the horrific, massive Holiday Farm fire. And speaking of the Holiday Farm fire, this is relevant to the analysis here. If we go back to the 12-hour timestamp, it pulls out. You see all the dead trees in the landscape. We do not want this fire to go down to be where it is right now. We do not want it into the canyon. The mountain pass is a wind tunnel, and it'll hit and consume perhaps all these dead trees on the landscape. That would be a very bad scenario. I don't know how much brush has grown, but it's 3 years later. The 2020 fires, 3 years later. Look at all the dead trees in the landscape. That is a lot of massive fuel. If we had strong east winds pushing the fire, I think that might be quite a disastrous event for it to reach the fuel. Oh, that's dead trees. We did see a pyrocumulous cloud successfully form. It found fuel, and the dirtiness of the smoke looking at it so dark, it was definitely chewing up living trees as well as dead. And that's sad. They said there's some old growth up there, up to 700 years old, averaging 300. We can only pray it survives. We've lost too much in 2020. The Opal Creek Wilderness was just unimaginable loss. It should have been a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Should have been. So we've got wind gusts throughout the night, 18 to 25 miles an hour. We've got some humidity recovery, not enough to make a difference. Very frustratingly, though, the infrared camera just shows heat like overwhelming. Fire's not that big, but it's, like I said, it's not calibrated, so it's overwhelming. It's like an overexposed picture that's too white, right? We can't tell exactly which drainage it's going down, exactly which structures might be threatened first, but many, right? McKenzie Bridge is over here. Now, I can't tell if the golf course is going to be hit first or the trailer park down by the river. I can only imagine they're scrambling to enact structure defense as people are scrambling to evacuate. So, hello, Brandon Brown. Thanks for being here. The death toll for Hawaii is 96 now. It's going to go bigger. I bet the majority is from that nursing home, and I'm terrified of that. Welcome back, Cheryl. So Nick, yeah, thanks guys who came back to pull the night shift. David McGonagall says shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? Yeah. And so in the description of the video, there's pretty much all the evacuation info that you need. And thank you, Bonds, for repeating it. Basically, Lowell is pretty far away, but the Lowell High School, it's the shelter for the bedrock fire. It's quite a windy drive, but that's where people should go who are getting out of the way of the lookout fire that just went completely nuclear today. Nuclear means what it means. It means that it had so much tremendous damage and heat that it formed a mushroom cloud. I mean, all tremendous heat forms a mushroom cloud, but only a few things on Earth do that. Wildfires, volcanoes were doing it before it was cool. And of course, nuclear weapons. So you can get an idea of the energy released out of this to incredible pollution and the destructive power. And we're all pretty traumatized by what happened in Hawaii. We're all pretty stunned. I do not want to watch another town burn up live or two, but this is not looking good. I don't know that they did a lot of structure protection work down in the. If you locals know, please let us know. But it's not what I've been reading about. They just counted on keeping it up there, roped in with retardant and for their lines to hold. But the weather had other ideas. So I really need to use the bathroom. I need to get some honey for my throat, try to figure out a new meal here, because I'm going to be with you. Some of my voice will hold. Hopefully, Broken Fish or others will come back and do the talking for me. But I think now it's the night shift. I probably have to talk. So Brandon Brown says, you're welcome. I'm in Florida where the hurricanes hit at. Oh, man. By, like, recent ones, like, I can't remember the town that I was about to go on a vacation with, too, and then the hurricane hit that one. Northwestern Hawaii, south of Tallahassee. Sorry, Florida. See, I'm ridiculously tired. I had 6.5 hours of sleep. The night prior, I had 0 sleep. So I'm pretty sick. Sinus infections are like nothing new, but I think I had salmonella too. So just bear with me. I'm not 100%. I'm like misspeaking and tripping over my tongue. You know, I am as frustrated as I am scared by this image. I'm gonna reproduce this, duplicate it. I'm gonna pause it on the mushroom cloud so that people understand what happened today. Take this seriously. Now, in my opinion, everything should be level 3 that is in an evacuation zone right now. Can you like see the fire with your eyeballs? Evacuate. This is not going to mess around. We have another red flag day, another hot, dry Eastern Oregon desert winds day. I don't know if they can get enough personnel here in time to do a lot of protection, but I hope so. I don't think they were prepared enough. I think they almost had it. I think they had the lines almost good enough, but time ran out. Now, this was a lightning strike fire, and we know that confirmed. It's no longer on watch duty, but if you had been watching watch duty like we did the other day, you would have seen the numbered lightning fires. Around August 5th, a bunch rolled through from south to north, fast-moving lightning storms, and so they just numbered the fires. Lightning fire 23, 11, 64. Like, yes, it was called 64, 54, 38, 32. And they played whack-a-mole, and they got them almost all out, but not this one. This one was in stubborn, difficult terrain. Meanwhile, aircraft do awesome work and turn the tide. You usually cannot put a fire out by the air. You can buy time for the ground crews to come and do it. It's pretty inaccessible and tall, sheer cliff faces and blah, blah, blah. Almost no fire access roads. So, really bad place for it to strike. So let's go back to the mushroom cloud thing. I don't know which image is more compelling. That probably, that says it all. What we saw live today, and that's when I knew it was going to be a long day. So I need to go get some sustenance. And something for my throat. I'll leave you with a live image. I have links to all these cams in the description. Not a video. And some of these you have to manually refresh. Like this is the Forestry Center cam. The link is in the description. See, but it's really frustrating. I don't know which direction it's looking. Lookout Ridge East. Like, so what direction is looking? Kind of gotta manually refresh it, but the thumbnail comes from this cam for the video. I tried to make the other one the thumbnail, but instead of resizing it for me, YouTube goes, it's too big. Ah, screw you. I'll use the other image then. Whatever. It's like you're a multi-billion-dollar company, and you're taking 30% of my revenue. Well, everybody's revenue on YouTube. So why don't you just update your damn software and resize our thumbnails for us, bastards? Shake fist. So here we are. It's just like Hunger Games, and here we are. Just want to get my cams in a row. These two are up to date. And like I said, this camera's having problems. The fire is not where all the white is. That's heat, light, and hot smoke. And it's so freaking frustrating. We can't tell where it is because of this. But do not believe for a second that the river is some sort of a barrier to this. Just for some bizarre reason, the evacuation map says, oh, the highway is like this divider, like as if it would stop it. The river is divider. Everything south of it is just like get set. I would not go to sleep if this was out my bedroom window. Like, that's madness. Oops, wrong image here. You know, fire over the ridge. Yeah, right here. I wouldn't go to sleep and think, oh, there's a river that's waist deep in between me and that fire. I'm safe. No, the embers will blow. So, okay, I restarted the stream. Oh, Hurricane Michael. Okay, 2018. Yikes, that was a bad one. And we are a good, supportive community here. So we do have like dark humor and stuff sometimes, but we have to make it. So I need some beverage, caffeinated, that'll soothe my throat. Yeah, Cheryl says you can't put a policy on Mother Nature. Yeah. Why not? Why not? Are you saying, Cheryl, that we can't control Mother Nature? Oh my God. What are we going to do? All right. So let's go to the live image. Time for me to use the bathroom, and then I'll try to dig something in the kitchen. Here it is live. What we don't want to see is the fire marching down to this line, which is the highway, but it probably will try that. It'll probably reach it. I don't know what they have for trying to put lines in the front of it, but that's because they're not really talking to the public that much about things. It'll update every 30 or seconds or 1 minute, and I'll be right back, friends. Okay, friends. Sorry, that's like silence. I should get like some sort of a non-copyrighted musical track or something to let people know we're still alive. Most people hearing some silence are like, "Is it over?" I'm just pretty dead tired right now. What have I got for food? I should order 2 chicken sandwiches from Burger King to be delivered. Um, at least at night I can cook something and make heat. What have I got? Oh, there's a pizza. That's it. C-Pro got me a pizza. There are 2 types of pizza in the world, friends. Victory pizza and pity pizza. Definitely the pity stuff, all right. Preheat to 400 in the air fryer. It's the Emerald air fryer toaster oven. This thing is the best thing since bread. Never thought I love this so much. Okay, no, not toast. Bake. Oh, it has a pizza setting. Sweet. Put that to 400. Strange thing is it makes you put a timer on the preheat, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but whatever. All right. Putting that pizza back in the freezer until it's ready. Honey. That'll help my throat. Not sure the value of streaming for very long. I'm trying to weigh that. Tomorrow's a red flag day. I kind of got to be around for that too. So what if I stream for the next 4 hours and I go to bed at 5 in the morning? It's kind of bad. Honey. Raw, pure, and unfiltered. And local. Yay. Oh, but it's from Texas. Never mind. Nate's honey from Texas. It's good stuff. They got a good blend. Yeah, we'll take this. We'll take this with us. That'll do. Okay, moderators in chat. We gotta decide if we want this to be a 24-hour stream. I could leave it open, go to bed. They already did the evacuations, I believe. I really hope it's all going well. There's benefits to a small town. You really can knock on all the doors. Fire crews really can help everybody out. The sheriff and the police really can help everybody out. It's not as fast moving as, say, Lahaina or the terrible tragedy fires. But I think the people have a right to be kind of pissed. They are told there will be no level 3 evacuations, like 6 o'clock, and other times. And then fire peaks over the ridge at 8 and 8:30. Now there are. But we've got to be pissed with the system to identify that, to change it. I'm sure a lot of the people involved want to declare evacuations a lot earlier, but their hands are tied by a damn system. I'm sure plenty of times, big fire. Okay, it's preheated. on big fires, and they're talking on stage, talking to the public. They just want to scream, "Go! Look at it!" But they can't. They'll get fired. But that's what we're here for. I don't have any biases, local biases where, oh, I don't know if I should call for evacuation like sometimes sheriffs have. It might hurt the economy so bad, and like they know the people that live there, and they know that businesses and tourist stuff is struggling, so they've got the Jaws dilemma, right? Yeah, we might lose a couple people to sharks, but we're losing the entire town if we close the beach. The economy will shut down. Blah 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 blah. I'm sure that shark will go away. You know, emotions that get in the way of reasoning. I really wish that all evacuations were done by, say, like a state fire marshal or something, and who doesn't have any conflicts. The good news is this is policy level stuff. That's the kind of stuff we can demand for change. This is not a complaint reel. Let's identify the problems, change them. And I encourage people to think for yourself, like something like fire is poking over a ridge, or like we identified today, what are the steps to a disaster? And most of the boxes had already been checked. What are the steps to the town really being threatened? I think we came up with like 12, and 10 of them had already happened. So, I didn't want to believe it. That's how I figured out what would happen. So, I'm really hoping there's a good, successful structure protection fight going on as we speak. I feel like a jerk every time I eat on stream. I've got to keep my strength up. And it's supposed to be 15 minutes. I'm going to check it at 12. Start. All right, more honey. So my mods, you guys are awesome. I think we'll know in the next couple of, 20, 30 minutes whether or not we should go all night or I should just hit the hay. Let's watch the cams. The best way to find information right now would be to listen live to all the chatter. They'd be saying stuff like, do you think that neighborhood's threatened? Fred, yeah, could be. Billy, what do you think? Oh, I'm over here right in front of these structures. We're actually holding the line. It's okay. All right, so keep it in the back of your mind, though. The moment that fire jumps Road A, I think you guys pull out and we should do an evacuation of Road B. Okay, all right, sir. Right now it's holding. That kind of information is golden. You can't replace it. The moment they say, this or that's happening, let's evacuate it. We've been able to get evacuations out to the public in 30 seconds of when they say it on the radio. That's great. There's nothing faster than that. It gives an idea of what's really happening. And even if bad things are happening, if you know what's happening, your anxiety goes down. Anxiety is the fear of the unknown. Boy, do I have that. Okay. I'll wait for this pizza. What do I drink? I want to have soda with a pizza, but my throat is messed up. Tea may not be quite the best option. I know everybody's going T, 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 spamming in the chat. Even though I'm in the kitchen, I'm sure you guys are doing that. Got this. Right now I'm throwing back shots of honey, basically. Okay, let me see if I'm right. Are you guys spamming T? Okay. Yeah, hey Mark, I am live now. I was live for 11 hours prior too. Okay. Somebody says I don't think we should go 24 hours, but we might. Better keep ready to when it's worse. Yeah, I think I may have to just get my strength up for tomorrow because this, if they're able to hold it tonight, that's going to be a massive battle still tomorrow. It's red flag day tomorrow too. Shell says videos I've seen from cars standing in lines waiting for police to open a road in the middle of a fire seems harrowing. Why not leave well before that? Exactly. Now, what firefighters and first responders want you to know is you never have to wait for them to leave. If you feel uncomfortable, there's nothing on scanners, Nick, in the region. There's only 3 for like Lane County total, and none of them have anything to do with fire. Different cities. So what they want you to do is make the best choice, and that's evacuate before you're told, before the madness and panic and the traffic accidents, before whenever you're in a rush, you'll forget stuff. It's because you're in a rush. Important steps, important things. You'll have to go back and get something you forgot. But if you're calm and doing it beforehand, you're going to just operate better. Things are going to go better. Yeah, most fatalities occur in vehicles when people fail to realize the window of opportunity to leave by vehicle is a window that closes. Yeah. Yeah, Vanessa, that fire is so close to the structures right now. It's just coming down the mountain. It's so hard to look away. I hate it when I wake up and a town's gone. I feel like, well, damn, it seems like I should have been there. But the reason to keep it 24/7 would be if we did have a scanner radio going that where we could hear anything. We can't hear a damn thing. There's just no ham radio operators there doing it. This is a view from the opposite side. It's a 12-hour time lapse. This is the view from the northeast looking to the southwest. Direct opposite direction. The mountains in the way. We see the same scenario for town or racing fires. It's called looking down the barrel of a gun. Is there a drainage, like little canyons and stuff aimed at your town? Is the fire above you? Could it be wind driven down the slope? If the answers are yes to all 3, you're looking down the barrel of a gun. This one needs to be locked in infinite focus. I don't know why these cameras don't. These are just terrible, terrible cameras. Terrible settings. We were comparing the incredible clarity of the high definition color FLIR infrared stuff during the Dixie and Caldor fires. Boy, do we need to put more money into that. Because we can't tell what the hell's going on. So what good is it? Oh, these are just fire detection cams, not fire monitoring cams. Why not both? Why not both? You want people's cooperation for evacuation. You show people what is really happening, and they'll just leave themselves. There's something called detrimental optimism. It's when people tell themselves the situation's better than it actually is because they're kind of really afraid, actually. So instead of being afraid and acting on the rational fear, They don't act because they convince themselves there's nothing to fear. That's why psychologically, when they put all these lung cancer images, they're gruesome, on cigarette packs, say smoking causes this, it didn't do anything. Detrimental optimism means, oh, I know that happens to some people, but it won't happen to me. Some people don't get lung cancer but smoke their entire lives. Something else could happen. I could die earlier so I don't have to face this. I could be hit by a bus. Well, what if you're not? So you gotta be real, you know. People can see pictures of other people and say, yeah, that's somebody else. It doesn't affect me. When you see the flames coming towards your community and you can understand the danger clearly, and you're told by blunt truth, honesty from the powers that be, we didn't complete the lines. There's nothing protecting your community. We are not done. Sorry. So the fire will reach it if they just talk and explain and show. People get the idea when they see 3,000-foot tall fire tornadoes and vortexes. They get their detrimental optimism idea of, I could defend my house with a garden hose. I've heard about people doing that before. Thus, my attempt will be successful too. All I had to do with the Dixie Fire was show people the 3,000-foot tall fire vortex. I said, are you going to protect your house with a garden hose from that? And they went, nope. Okay, I'm out. Okay, I'm never going to buy unfiltered honey again. I just crunched on something. I looked it up a while ago. Like, is there any benefit to unfiltered honey? I get the idea of raw. It's not like anybody cooks honey, so yeah, isn't it pretty much raw? But unfiltered just means, I mean, A, that could have been crystal. Like, it could be crystallizing. It's pretty gooey, so I don't think so. But the other things that can be crunchy in honey are bee pieces and flower pieces. Oh, God. So does that mean raw, unfiltered honey is not vegan? Can vegans eat insects? The things I think about at 2 in the morning. Screw it. I'm having more. I'm just gonna use some detrimental optimism right now, and even though I could be eating insects, I'm just gonna say that was crystallized honey. Oh God, it's crunchy again. I'm in the dark. Oh well. My kind of optimism allows me to have what I want. So I'll do it. What the hell are we supposed to make of this? The light and heat is overwhelming the camera. I'm just so frustrated. I saw it pouring over the ridge and going down the slopes, maybe in 2 different drainages. But we can't tell anymore because unless the stupid camera calibrates and adjusts, closes down that aperture, there's too much light, it's overexposed. And we're getting weird images like that look like a weird tropical sunset because it's camera artifact. A camera lens isn't one piece of glass that's curved, it's many different stacked curved lenses right behind each other. So that's why you see multiple halos. When light hits it just right. Alright, I heard you, mods. It's just protein. Big Al says, hey, get to know stuff. How are you? How am I doing? Better. But I have to remember I'm still sick and I gotta conserve. Yeah. That's an extremely valid feeling. I forget what I said right before you said that. I'm glad to see you, Vanessa, and everybody here. So when we kind of see, we keep doing the 15-minute frame by frames. I'm going to eat, so I'm going to stay up for at least 20 minutes to eat. I just realized if my voice is completely shot tonight, I may not be able to talk tomorrow. That's another thing I forgot about. Okay, we'll eat, monitor this, see if there's any new expansion of evacuations, for example, and reassess at that point. So far, no new changes. It updated 6 minutes ago, though. The fire's been mapped. The lookout fire's been mapped at 1,202 acres as of 10:30 tonight with an infrared flight. It has grown to the southwest by 2 miles since last night. Yeah, you think? Yep, a little bit. The number of spot fires observed in front of the southwest side with large areas of intense heat. The main fire line at the time remained approximately 2 miles north of McKenzie Highway at the time of 10:30. It's 2 in the morning. The game has changed. The main fire line at that time remained 2 miles north of the highway. Since it's marched down towards the highway a little bit, God knows now. Shaded red means intense heat. Yellow is scattered heat. Map faces north. Perimeters don't reflect structure protection. So, like, even though it may be drawn over the top of your structure, they may have saved it anyway. But look at the spots. Wow, that one over down there. Long range spotting. Like Broken Fish was saying. $10. Even though it was spilling over the ridge right here, there was some fire down there. That was the spot fire that I think we were talking about. Somebody said it was really close to the road. I said it looks like a spot fire. It was this. Somebody, a local, sent Broken Fish this image and said there was a flames visible really close to the road. So I said that's really small. It's got to be a spot fire, and I think that question just got answered. Okay. Oh boy, we got intense heat all the way around. Hold on to your butts. Whoops. So we could have had an infrared flight probably over the others. Let's look at the bedrock. Yeah, 5 minutes ago, an infrared flight over the bedrock, the nearby bedrock. It's 22,026 acres. This was also as of 10:25 at night. The majority of the growth occurred on the west side of the fire, where it grew 1.5 to 2 miles, plus a number of spot fires observed out front to the west. And that doesn't surprise us because we had the big east winds and northeast winds. In the past 24 hours with the bedrock fire, spot fires crossed over the primary control lines. One of them quickly mopped up. The others grew together to about 400 acre size. Clark Creek drainage. Prior to this weather, fire managers identified and began prepping primary, alternative, and contingency and emergency control fire lines. Oh my God. This area of new fire growth remains within alternate containment lines, and currently heavy helicopters are dropping water buckets. Maybe it was 8 hours ago. Dozers are going direct to improve and strengthen them. They pushed as hard as they could to try to do as much as they could before the red flag, but phew, today sucked. The Wiley and the salmon fires revealing bright spots of information today. Yes. Fire lines hold on Wiley Creek. Containment increases, but that update was 6 hours ago. Firefighter received a minor injury in the leg on the line and was treated and released at the hospital. I'm so glad he made it. So tonight on the Wiley fire, which is the same general area, resources will continue to build on lines and watch for potential flare-ups. While the fire held steady throughout Sunday, a red flag warning issued by, National Weather Service remains in effect until Monday night. At night, temperatures remain high up in the 70s. It's crazy for the mountains. Humidity will only reach 40% at night. It sucks. They'll watch for any change in behavior. Smoke from the Lookout fire began to move northwest this afternoon, bringing thick haze over it. Meanwhile, little to no smoke was seen over the actual Wiley Creek fire today. Smoke drift maps are available at airnow.gov. So the Wiley and the salmon were the good pieces of news. Bedrock and Lookout. Pretty bad with Lookout being tremendously bad. I'm really hoping it's not going to go and chew through homes tonight, but it could really kind of be in progress. Okay. So I'm looking at Cheryl. You've got a Canadian fire link there. Oh, thank you. Get to know. Oh, you're new to the channel. Have no idea what it's about. Yeah, I should have an explainer. That video is like the most integral thing to being a streamer. That explains what the hell your channel's about. But I at least wrote what it's about in the about page. I wanted to set up my really nice microphone that I bought with your guys' kind donations. But renovations of the room had to happen, and so all my desks and stuff are in a temporary position. In order to face the correct direction and have 3 desks and 3 monitors, one has to be for a monitor just for when I'm filming. One has to be a monitor of the behind-the-scenes control panel. The other monitor has to be monitoring the fire. Right now, I could kind of screw up because one monitor had to look well over my shoulder. It's actually just a TV. So I am not in complete awareness. In order to change the desks around, I've got to first mount a thing on the wall that'll mount two different monitors. Haven't bought it yet. I did the stud fighting though, and I put X's on the wall. And then for the windows behind me, I had to get curtains that would block out enough of the light that I wouldn't have glare on the monitor, right? So all this stuff I tried to have ready for fire season, but it just didn't happen. Life chaos occurred. So I'm in a temporary kind of setup here, but the stream quality will increase pretty good. I have a really expensive microphone. Sound quality is what we need to increase the most. Ouch. Then I'll get into fancy stuff like transitions and themes and blah, blah, blah. Eventually, I'll get a theme song. I got a logo. AI made me a logo. It's pretty sweet. But I was just on the cusp of setting this up when, fire season really began. But it'll arrive. We're ready. My computer's now ready for 4K streaming. I actually just need to spend some money and get enough hard drives to record the gigantic files. I record every stream. I don't just upload it because sometimes YouTube deletes stuff, and done the hard way. I mean, lightning struck my house in the middle of the stream. We're right outside. World's most crazy flash of light and thunderclap, and that's one of those crazy things that would have gone viral. I said, oh, lightning doesn't strike twice in the same, and then boom, like it was a sonic boom throughout the house, screaming, white flash of light like a nuclear bomb. Every car alarm went off for 5-mile radius. And because the stream went over 12 hours, YouTube deleted it. And I thought I had the button, as a newbie back then, that says keep the stream, and it deleted it. I had no idea. To this day, it says it's processing that big video file, and it will always say that because that's what happens with YouTube. So I have to record all the streams because I'll never let that happen again. So I've got like 16 terabyte hard drives, but I need some more. I mean, these 1080s are pretty big. 4K though is a beast. But we're going to improve. I've got more video production knowledge than I have actual applied skills, but we'll apply them later. I've got a lot of friends and people have taken me under their wing. I've bought lights. I oftentimes sit in the dark on purpose. I get migraines and stuff, but we'll have lights and a decent camera, I'm using the old C760 or whatever cam from Logitech. I'm partying like it's 2005. But we'll get a good one. No more gamer headset nonsense. That's an Elvis microphone, man. Okay. Let's look at the fire smoke map. No, you can't know my location. Go away. Oh, no wonder that took time to load. So with your kind donations, I upgraded to a Ryzen 9 processor. It's so dang powerful that it can't be cooled by air. So I have a radiator, like a car's radiator, with 3 massive fans. Barely fits in my case. I really should buy a new case because I'm putting too much pressure on the tempered glass side. It's kind of like almost bowing. And tempered glass doesn't give, it just shatters. So I'm not going to tighten that screw anymore. Kind of mad at Fantex. Upgraded from a Ryzen 5, 3600 or whatever, to a Ryzen 9. So we can now video edit any kind of 4K, even 8K video, I believe. Got a 3070 in there, made by EVGA, RIP EVGA. So I used the donation money for good. We can now handle all the tabs open in the world. We can look at multiple videos at once, blah, blah. It used to struggle, but with your kind donations, I've been making the upgrade. Hey, Harley Rider, how are you? I am Earth Baby, says it's sad and startling to watch tiny ashes float to the ground here in Cottage Grove. Oh dear. Oh dear. What's going on in Cottage Grove? Oh, for the flat fire, right? Wait, which fire would that be? I'm deliriously tired. I had 6.5 hours of sleep last night. No sleep before. Oh, that's right. Cottage Grove, not the one I'm thinking of. That's south of Springfield, right? Yeah. Go, Cowtofu, go. That one's got the cheap Safeway gas when you're on I-5, right? I think it's feeling the load. I've been on the same VPN. Okay, yeah, that's more like it. That's right, South Springfield. You're actually getting hot ash. Jeez. Yeah, that was quite a cloud today. This is a different live camera view of the hill. This is where the thumbnail came from. You can barely see the mountain there. Yeah, nothing quite drops debris long distance like high altitude fire on top of mature trees, on top of ridges, getting sucked up a couple thousand feet higher by a pyrocumulous cloud and drifting in high winds. Nothing quite. It's like trifecta for long distance spotting and such. This is when we knew we had a major problem. The fire looks like this, guys, to the naked eye. Like this is before the camera went into night vision mode. It looks way worse than this. It probably looks like one solid flame going down the slope. It now looks like this because the camera sucks in night vision mode. I wish they'd just flip it into color vision mode because this is giving us no useful info. Oh god, is my pizza on fire? That would be ironic. Start a kitchen fire while I'm live. Weirder stuff has happened while live. I hear sirens and stuff, and oh my god. Well, no wonder it's not ready. It's I hit the button and it went beep, but I didn't actually start it. Dang it! I was like, what the hell? Well, at least it's not on fire. It's just raw. Sort of de-thawed itself. Okay. Where were we? A drink. What can I drink? Is milk good for the throat? I could use coffee, but I swear the decaf ain't decaf. Is coffee and pizza good? Nah. That didn't really help the throat before. I don't expect it would help it now. Milk and pizza, bleh. So if anybody's from the area, do tell me, what do you see? What's going on? I put the link to the stream in the Facebook there. I always forget to tweet. Somebody tweet that I'm live. With a link, please. I forget it again. I should tattoo that on the back of my hand. Tweet that you're live. That's how I get found by most people, is people share the links like that, because the algorithm beats us up. It punishes the honest streams like us the most, the ones that are doing the most public good. It's just not set up for it. I hate it. I think everybody hates the algorithm. You look at Mr. Ballin's channel, he's like, every single show, he says, please torture the like button. Thanks. And it's pretty hilarious. We actually have to tell people to hit the like button, because if we don't have a trending video, and that's the only kind of thing that gets put up in the ratings. People can search right now for the Linn County, this exact fire name, emergency evacuation, putting these keywords, and not going to find us. The way it works is it's automatic. The algorithm connects people with what's already popular and makes what's already popular even more popular. So one, like a lot of people have to trample in, right? That's one step to getting your video boosted to the top of the search result. Not what people want to find, but you have to make yourself popular so people find you at all. So a crowd has to trample in all at once. Then they have to kind of stick around, right? So then you have to have concurrent viewers. Then you have to have a lot of activity in chat. So even if you say, hi, I like dogs, the like helps the chat, right? This helps us be trending. Then a whole bunch of people have to hit the like button. And then that really gets you going. But then you have to have a whole bunch of subscribers. That's the last thing. Now, all the news media, even though they're like not giving you any damn info, they're going to say stuff like, for 30 seconds on the 10 o'clock news. Oh, and by the way, there's a fire in this such and such county, and it threatens threatens some homes. That's pretty much how they cover. They'll throw some generic image up there. Like, that's it. So, but the news media has what? 800, maybe 80,000 subscribers, or if you're like CNN, 800,000 or something. So just because of the subscriber count there at the top, even though they're not giving you any damn useful info. So how do we get punished? There's also other factors. Like, YouTube is set up for entertainment. I mean, they've got categories like news and media, but I don't think that changes the actual algorithm. So we're all fighting against this. I couldn't understand why people said, "Where did you go?" I'm like, I never went anywhere. I keep doing Firestream every day. And they're like, "But I never got any notifications you were live anymore. I never saw that you were live." Oh, I thought you just did Firestream for a week. I'm like, nope, I was live 96 days in a row. 2001. People are like, really? So what happens when people sub for a bit and they want to know about their fire, they may hate hearing about the fire ever again. Like, they just don't want to hear about this stuff. Constant disasters, crisis. That's okay. So I'm going to make other channels, right? So the problem is that a big popular fire happens with a lot of attention and popular attention, you know. So I'll get like 8,000 subs in a week. Well, I say over the course of a month, perhaps. Then the fire is past, a major event like the Caldor, and 6,000 people unsub. So the YouTube algorithm expects that it's okay for people to gradually unsub if, like, say, you don't have a lot of new content or people's interests just change, blah, blah, blah. However, if thousands of people unsub in like a day or the same week, same month, same year, YouTube thinks that you offended people and that people don't like looking at your content. So you get thrown to the bottom. You start from scratch again. I didn't know this was affecting. I didn't know how this worked. I was just like, where are my subs going? To make matters worse, a lot of people say I never unsubbed, and one day I Googled you and found that the subscribe button was there. Like, what? Yes, YouTube is unsubbing people. The whole 6 months I was sick and bedridden during the winter and had virtually no content, I looked at YouTube Studio, and every time I looked at it, every single week I lost 30 subscribers. Not 31, not 29, 30. There's no way in the world that exactly 30 people just started unsubbing every week. That's YouTube doing it. I don't think they should, but I've noticed it too. I have these favorite channels where I've always had the ringing bell going. There's a guy called Survive the Jive. He talks about the heritage of Indo-European people without any nonsense. No racism, no nonsense either, though. Just, where do Indo-Europeans come from? What? Who were they? How did they influence history? What do we know about them? There's constant archaeology, blah, blah, blah. And unfortunately, that topic got hijacked by Nazis and stuff. But the true Indo-Europeans, like, not fantasy BS, right? But unfortunately, they'll say like keywords and stuff, like Indo-Aryan, which is a textbook word, right? But what does that do? Those are hot button political words, right? So his channel got punished. Even though I subscribed to the Ringing Bell, I thought he like quit YouTube or something. And he's been making content all the time, and I just figured this out. I'm like, what the hell? But that's how the algorithm is. It is not your friend. It's not trying to tell you about your interests. It's not trying to give you the information that you actually need. So I don't know what to do. Twitch is better at connecting people with like it, but it's mostly for gaming. I mean, Amazon bought them. They're trying to make it about other topics, but I mean, it started out as a gaming stream thing. It's for youth and blah blah blah. It's chaotic. Everybody's just has a drunken revelry kind of thing. It's inappropriate for like wildfire stuff, but it connects people better with info. Like the thing they're trying to, you can do hashtags and things. It doesn't matter if you have one viewer and one subscriber. If somebody wants to see that specific game, it's right there, top of the search. However, I'll never be able to walk elderly people and boomers through installing that app on their phone, and they'll never hear about it, right? That this is the majority of the audience. So people living in fire-prone areas happen to be in the mountains. And I'm over here watching my pizza not catch fire. So I'm sorry, I'll be right back in a sec. So even though it's like better, it's not better because like most boomers and stuff never even know that there's an app store and never open it and don't ever install something new, but YouTube comes pre-installed. I'm kind of stuck here. I just hope one day it changes. So this is why everybody says hit that like button and stuff. I freaking hate being annoying like that, but really it helps. What are we gonna do? We gotta work with what we got. I'm still amazed by it all though, that I'm able to help all these people by hitting a button and talking, and you guys are able to help me too. Like this has been incredible. I really never thought this would take off and be popular, or that we'd actually save lives, but well, here we are, and support each other when they're lost. What do you mean the channel isn't responding? I was in the kitchen. I've been live streaming for more than 11 hours. What part of Oregon is Rainbow located in? Okay, so this is Linn County. Sorry, my mods must have been looking away too. I'm really worried my pizza's gonna burn. So, yeah, thanks, Harley. This is the McKenzie River. It's Highway 167. It's in between. See, there's Eugene. Basically, Bend. It's the highway that cuts almost due east-west for the most part through the Cascades. So this is an incredibly bad place to have a fire. It was up there in the mountains, and I don't like this. I like Caltopo's maps better. And we got the heat signatures. That's the bedrock fire. What the hell is that? Is that the bedrock's perimeter? Yeah, it is. So it's. I hope it's a firing up, but I can't imagine they do that in a red flag weekend. Okay. That's just a different edge of the bedrock. There goes the pizza. So what the crisis that happened tonight is they needed to hold this line right here. This is incredibly steep canyon, and the fire breached it. And when we saw this image earlier tonight, they're still telling the public there's not going to be an evacuation, not a mandatory one. And I said, really? This just went over the ridge. Look at the towns below. Earlier today, we kind of saw this coming a mile away. But like I said, because of the whole mushroom cloud thing, it's earlier today. Pretty much everybody looking at that said that line's not going to hold. These towns are in danger. We have high winds, red flag tomorrow. It's going to burn actively through the night because we have 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts going on. So These towns are in grave danger. But because the cameras went into nighttime infrared, it's not calibrated, and we're seeing this big white blob. But like, here's a 3-hour time lapse. You can see it's making its way down the slope towards the towns, and so they did a mandatory evacuation very soon after I posted that screenshot on their Facebook page, the actual fire information Facebook page. And they said, actually, time for evacuations. And it's not because of my screenshot. It's because I'm sure they had a huge delay, like we see in other fires, telling people to evacuate much later than they should, meaning after dark. They tell people at 6 p.m., no, you won't have to evacuate. They'll knock on doors at 9 p.m. and say, yeah, you have to. This happens again and again because even though they can see like fire like charge over a hill and it's hopeless now, people are in harm's way. They still have to make phone calls and get this all approved in a bureaucratic red tape nightmare. Now I've got to go rescue the pizza, but this is the 12-hour time lapse. You'll see what I mean. It's got worse and worse throughout the day. So all the information that you need to find these cameras is in the link in the description of the video. Sorry, every once in a while the mods are all collectively not looking at the chat. Okay, it's not on fire. Good. Anybody who knows how I cook knows that I could burn water. Come here, you little wonderful little Juno. And thank you guys' donations keep me fed. Okay. There's that cutter. My voice is failing, and I decided that after I eat, I'm going to assess. Probably sleep, because tomorrow we're going to have all hell breaking loose with probably new pyrocumulous clouds, long-range spotting, high winds, high heat. It's going to be over 100 degrees. Hold on to your butts. The other fires could take off and breach their lines as well. So I need to not destroy my voice. I've been speaking for more than 11 hours in a row. But I hate going to sleep when a town is threatened. I hate not being there for people and helping them as they're watching the same damn cams too with support. But there's nothing really, there's no reason to make this stream 24 hours. Sorry about kitchen noises. Where the hell is the cutter? There it is. I should have been in bed sick today, but like I was yesterday, but it's red flag, it's red flag. I just feel like complete dog crap when I wake up and a town's gone. Jesus. When people need support, they need support. Okay. The onion-free pizza margarita. Should be okay for the stomach. So there's a crisis right now. There's all hands on deck. Firefighting units racing towards the scene. Blah, blah, blah. Has been happening since 8:30. Now, I'm not calling them stupid or anything, but my God, it's a stupid policy to make so many bureaucratic red tape phone calls before you can get a place evacuated. You've got to tell people while it's still daylight that they might have to evacuate. You can't just wake them up later and try to go door to door. They can't load their animals in the dark. Can you imagine if you open the front door and your dog runs out into the night and there's a wildfire coming? Like, I just can't do this to people. Okay. But we can identify the problems and tell me about the solutions. I'll be right back. My post in a second. Alright, screw it. I'm having a Pepsi. There are only two kinds of pizza in life. Pity pizza and victory pizza. It's obviously a pity pizza right now. It's been a traumatic couple of days. We watched Hawaii burn down live the other day. And I kind of knew it was a mass fatality event. I just didn't want to admit it. It moved too fast for everybody to get out harm's way. The elderly, the nursing home, I don't even want to think about it. Once again, sorry about kitchen noises. If too much silence goes by, people think there's nobody here. So I'll babble about stuff on my way to the kitchen. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't leave the live view up. It stopped at a time lapse. Okay, but you see, did you see the time lapse? How messed up that was? At what point do you stop looking? You know, it's a hard decision. I have to have strength for tomorrow. Pros and cons. So if we keep doing 15-minute time lapses, we can kind of track its progress down the ridge. It's called backing. Think of it like when you're walking backwards. You can walk backwards, but not as fast as when you normally walk forwards. Backing is fire behavior where it's doing the opposite of how it usually spreads. Like fire loves to race up hills. So when it's like going downhill, it's slower. Backing. Fire going against the wind is much slower spread than with the wind. You know, that's backing. Fire spreading in a dead calm, but just because vegetation's touching, one branch on fire is touching another, it's backing. All right, looking back at chat. What's sad about Maui is Faku tyrants. Love your name. Faku. I'm going to say that so I don't get banned. It warned about the danger of the fire 10 years before. Really, Citizens Free Press had that really sad story today. Oh man. I'm Earth Baby says Winchester Bay is far from all of those. Is that where you're at? Yeah, former wildland firefighter. Oh yeah, you know about this. People come in and out. So a lot of people come to get their info, then they like pack for a bit, and they come back, get their info. And thank you for your service. Thank you. We had 2 firefighters guests today. I know. I just did. John Bruno was a special guest from Shasta County, retired fire chief there. Broken Fish, one of the mods, retired wildland fire from Oregon, fought the Biscuit Fire and such. He was awesome, and both of them said, yeah, that's coming down the hill. Didn't want to believe it, but it is. When you see stuff like that, just get everybody out of the way. What irks me is the evacuation line between mandatory, like go now, and just kind of be on the lookout. This is the McKenzie River. It's like knee deep. It's not a barrier. Why? I don't see how anybody could go to sleep with that coming down their hill. Mind you, this is a big, red, ferocious, monstrous glow that looks volcanic. I wish this could time lapse. This would be nuts. This is the forestry center, whatever. Bunch of cams. The stations are in low power mode for winter storms. Image updates may be delayed. It's kind of not winter, but okay. Not very good at night vision. So I'm terribly worried. from McKenzie Bridge, Rainbow, Belknap Springs. Belknap Springs is upwind right now, but we're going to have an east wind tomorrow. Pretty serious wind gusts, pretty good sustained winds. 18% humidity is going to suck. But it's a wind tunnel, it's a canyon. The winds will shift eventually, so while it looks like it's over here at safety, it's not. Look how steep that is. Look at the amount of structures. This is Modus and Veers, the GOES. I'm super surprised it hasn't. The GOES satellite detection of heat hasn't gone down the slope already. The best case scenario is they found a way to kind of stop it down there, but I don't think that's happening. We can't get a really good image. The governor already pushed buttons, got a pat her on the head. She's invoking the Conflagration Act, new legislation since the 2020 chaos. More resources are on the way, but it doesn't include hand crews, I think JB said, which is weird. Or is it? Broke Fishing was saying that. I don't know. But that's more like what it looks like. But picture it marching down a hill. Now, if you think you're safe, just because you're on the other side of that knee-deep river, why would you? But nevertheless, that's the evacuation way they did this. It's not good. They did the map. It's already obsolete. It's 10:30. I thought it's happened since 10:30. So I'm afraid pretty soon there's going to be a great battle for the structures. And look back at chat. Oh, you live in Cottage Grove, okay. Yeah, it was so much like paradise. Did you see the? Yeah, it is steep enough for rollout though. For flaming debris to just straight up fall like a rock off the cliff. You're right. I mean, they don't like to go downhill. That's going to be a lot much slower spread. But if it's steep like that, flaming debris just rolls down. Now, here, have some. Wish I could share. It's decent. Sauce is bad, like all DiGiorno's, but pretty crispy crust. I wouldn't really call this a margarita pizza, but it's decent enough. Camera's called Death Ball Mountain. You can't make this up. Have you seen this though? Maui. Now Josh came in, moderator, Batman. It's our nickname for him. He said that they were examining this on the Hot Shot Wake Up podcast thing. I only caught that once or twice. I should be tuned into it, but I'm super busy. He said follow path of destruction. So it gets narrower. What's that? Power substation. Lawsuits have already been started. People are trying to sue the power companies involved in Maui. If I had $500,000 or even $1 million, I'd go all in I'm saying mainly power lines caused this, just like Paradise. Just like the Cascade Fire that killed my friend. Just like Santa Rosa. What we believe happened with the Bobcat Fire. Power equipment and power lines down, left them energized in extreme high winds during a drought during red flag. Why? That lesson's already been learned. We watched the Maui catastrophe from a live webcam, and I don't think they were on backup power for that webcam. We could see city lights. We could see the city lights as well as the fire. Interesting. Can't really scroll. We were watching the fire from here and saw east towards the Kula area. I was pretty disoriented of what we were seeing. I thought we were watching Lahaina, but we weren't. There was plenty of... Where is that cam? Sorry, I have a million tabs. There. Maui Ocean Center Park cam. I didn't realize, guys, you could take control of this one. Whoops. If you press this button, it says wait, and then it'll give you control if you're first in line. Select a preset position, and you just use this button. I don't know where we're going to change the camera, but it's going to move. So that explains why the camera was twitching around all night. People were taking control and moving it. But it frustratingly went away from the fire several times. So we saw it in a red glow right pretty much from this position, slightly over to the right. The fire was there in the sky. But we could see the city lights across the bay, so yeah, nobody de-energized the lines there. They went down, so yeah, they caused fires somewhere, but where exactly? Other people have been coming in with different links saying they knew. Yeah, they knew. They knew. But why? Usually lower people down the totem pole at these power companies say, oh, but I didn't have authorization to cut off the power. I could lose my job or something. Are you happy you didn't press the button? Do the right thing and screw your job. How can you live with yourself after something like that? We shouldn't make people make that choice. It needs to be a law. In a potential fire situation, any employee in the United States, citizen or otherwise, can take measures to prevent that fire on their own spontaneously and instantly without any fear of, what do you call that? Retaliation. Whistleblower protection for that should be ironclad. It should be illegal for any retaliation for somebody in good faith and an honest judgment, trying to make the right call and trying to save lives. This isn't funny anymore. Have to be real. But the Dixie Fire lines surged, even though Paradise had taken 85 lives a couple of years before. Another employee of PG&E was afraid he'd lose his job because the PG&E policy still was Employee has to see a fire and confirm it before they can press the buttons to turn off the power. So he had to drive up a steep canyon by the Cresta Dam in the Feather River Canyon, and it took a long time to do that. Meanwhile, a tree was leaning on the power lines getting electrocuted. And for a while, that's going to be okay, but eventually the heat will boil the sap off and it'll ignite. He gets up there, sees the tree being electrocuted. Oh my God, whips out a cell phone, shut off the power, no signal. What does he do? Drive like 15 minutes back down to go get some cell phone signal or get to a payphone? He could see the dry grass igniting, vegetation beneath it igniting. Thinks, I could try to put it out. I got a chance here. Tries, fails. A million acres later, the Dixie Fire has spanned 5 different counties. Erased multiple towns. And that entire region will never be the same. And Greenville was almost a mass fatality event. It's just a miracle it wasn't. We have to stop messing around. Immediate laws, Congress, unanimous vote, pass it, do it. Most of these problems can be solved with a pen rather than some expensive, global solution like taxing cow farts, right? The biggest change, effortless strokes of a pen. That's supposed to be the thumbnail. Now we can look at, this will update every 30 seconds or a minute. Yeah, no fear of reprisal. Thank you, Jack. I'm so lost for words. Jack says, hi, by the way. Hey, I love pineapple on pizza. Why the hell is that a controversy? Guess what's really good? Okay. Pizza Hut. Pan. Pepperoni. Pineapple. And mushrooms. Do it today. You will not regret. I was doing it way before it was cool. Yeah, Cal Topo's got our heat signature. I'm super surprised it hasn't expanded. I would expect the GOES heat would be down the slope already. You see, the biggest nightmare scenario is the bedrock meeting. The lookout fire. We have this, okay, I almost said a bad word on streams earlier. It's the middle of the night, but people might watch this in the morning. We have so many fires right here in the Willamette National Forest. The lookout is in Wiley, I think, were the two that were lightning strike confirmed, if I remember right. It's like a diamond. A salmon fire, then the bedrock, then the salmon, the Wiley, then the lookout. And salmon is the most secure of them all. But if you look at this, trifecta, right? Well, that's when you win big, okay? Like you win enough money to buy a house from a $2 bet at horse racing. Usually a trifecta is like eureka, but when it's a bad situation, I almost said a bad word, trifecta. Whoops. But the Wiley is probably going to stay put. It was a good news infrared flight at 10:30. They can't really even find much heat. That's great. Mop up, blah, blah, blah. hopefully they can transfer everybody over. But what would be the most worst case scenario? The bedrock has been reaching towards Belknap Springs, reaching towards the canyon, the mountain pass. From day one, they've tried desperately to stop it here at this line. This is probably a big road, but it kind of escaped them out the side. So they're gonna chase that. It's reaching the burn scar of the giant holiday farm fire of 2020. It's probably crossing over into it now. Yeah, it's a whole lot of millions and billions of dead trees there that they failed to salvage log completely. And so this little pocket here evaded the wrath of the holiday farm fire by some miracle. And these are the towns that might be destroyed tonight. Tomorrow. It's coming down for McKenzie Bridge. Wind changes, it could take Belknap Springs. And I was just about to vacation there, like for the weekend. I'm getting too busy this weekend, but I was planning on next. I need a damn vacation. I've had the winter of my discontent. It's been hard. My brother died 2 days before Christmas. Like my shoulders don't relax anymore. They're like a rock hard statue. I need a warm hot spring and just relax. Been through hell, nearly died during the winter. Best part, I think COVID attacked my kidneys, but I don't know. Yeah, it's Caltopo Jag. Was that open table cauliflower crust? That's disgusting. You can't do mushrooms and it's a texture thing? Oh, my dear. Get some hypnosis. Mushrooms are actually, they're finding out some of the most nutritious things on earth. They have truly magical nutritional properties that everybody ignored before. Yeah. Yeah, Polar Vortex is a class action lawsuit against Hawaiian Electric. Yeah. Yeah. Cheryl says my version of a pizza is cheese with veggies toasted in the oven. That's kind of cool. I tend to make my own and they taste better. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for coming. You live on the cauliflower thing? Well, I mean, if you're gluten free, you got to do it. I've got an ancient bread maker we haven't used since like 1990 in the family, but I found it. I can't wait to make my own bread. Okay. That is an eerie cloud layer. And the fire's heat and hot smoke is going above it. It's just eerie. But look how fast the wind's blowing that across the ridge line. The fire's going to try to run west. It might kind of mimic what we saw by white salmon with the first big fire of the year in the Columbia River Gorge. It's a wind tunnel. Mountain passes are. Anybody have questions? Oh yeah, Big Al. It's probably a surreal, hellish thing. It's generally fires like that are a career ender. Generally, like 911 operators don't go back to their jobs after hearing the kind of calls they probably got. Some people go back to work. Some can't stand it. And they'll do their best to forget they ever had a job like that, but likely fail. It's like I watched some documentary about the station nightclub fire, the one that happened in Rhode Island, Connecticut, actually, I think. Oh my God. First responders and stuff explaining that. Yeah, most of them are just dead. Retirement day. I was like, why am I watching this? This is the most horrible thing I've ever watched. But there were some amazing bright moments where, even though it was a raging inferno and like everybody was assumed dead inside, there was a guy on the bottom of the body pile and he made it. The roof collapsed on the bodies above him. He made it. It's pulled out. There's always some weird stories like that, like the Coconut Grove nightclub fire in Boston. 600 plus fatality in less than an hour. There were windows everywhere, and everybody in the club could have just jumped out the windows. But during the war, World War II, there was something called a blackout order. Now, U-boats and stuff off the coast, especially for coastal cities, could shell the land, and if somehow airplanes got to the East Coast and there was rules against Japan, for the West Coast. They navigate by city lights to do their bombings and, find their way. So if you had your lights on after dark, there was a rule. You had to put curtains up from the inside of your dwelling or literally paint black the window so that light couldn't go outside. So all cities were dark at night. There was no street lamps, no nothing. You had to dim your headlights, get special bulbs, blah, blah, blah. So they didn't even want, highways to be identified from the air. It was that tense. I mean, blimps and stuff could have theoretically crossed the Atlantic, whatever. So the fire breaks out and the lights go out, and there's 600 people trapped in 2 different floors of a sprawling speakeasy type nightclub, and they can't find their way out. There's windows everywhere and they can't see them. The curtains were hung up, and they put decorations up to make things look like fake archways and stuff. Safety was one fist punch away. Break the glass, get out, and nobody knew. And of course, the big exit door, the door of death, was chained shut from the outside or welded shut, so people couldn't skip the check at the restaurant. Just, same old stuff. But just like the station nightclub fire, people survived in the lobby where people couldn't get out because they jammed the door. A log jam of people, but here the fire's burning through the roof and it's all crazy. Nobody can be alive in there, and there's people at the bottom just kind of protected. I think the lady just recently died, but she was one of the last survivors. It's like, damn. So there's always some good in these horrible disaster shows. I study them to try to, find out how people survive. This last 15 minutes from the other cam, but we just see the glow. It's not useful. Now, we did a 12-hour from this cam. It's pretty insane. The silence makes it even more eerie. The green aerosols drifting on the left side around the clouds are incredibly eerie. The way it begins to rotate, all tremendous heat updrafts start to rotate. It's just eerie. We saw that earlier this afternoon. It's like, oh God. Oh God. Same fire. This is the front. Excuse me, the lookout fire. We're coming up on 11 p.m. 1:30. Midnight. I'm waiting for the good stories to come out of Maui. Right now, there's the horrible ones, but I'm hoping that there will be some. A stranger saved my life, and 6 months later, I met him in a restaurant, and now we're getting married. You know, that kind of stuff. Oh God, guys, it's really reached the floor. It's reached the valley floor. Getting real close, just closer and closer to town. If the dang camera was calibrated better, I'm sure we could see, like, if first responders were putting a light in front of it or what they were doing. But you can see how fast the wind's going. Let's look at the current weather. Where did I put that? Did I accidentally close it? Radar now. My radar. Technically, that's not red flag. Are you serious? No, it is. Okay. It just says darker pink when it's excessive heat watch plus red flag in the valley. Okay. I got it. Air quality, yeah, bad. It says winds dead calm with almost 5 miles an hour, wind gust to 11. It's moving quite a bit fast. That's why the cams are so valuable. And windy is actually better than this currently, giving us the more accurate thing where it says, 18 to 25 mile an hour wind gusts all night, around 13 mile an hour sustained. Where's windy right now? Windy. Where's that little bugger? There. Right. Get some animation. Wind gusts. 22 miles an hour. Yeah. So 18 miles an hour, 5 a.m., 14 miles an hour. Picks up again. Throughout the day, it's saying there might be a north wind. I wouldn't trust it. Northeast. Wind will come out of the northeast or the east. It's going to be 99 degrees by 2 p.m. tomorrow. Even in the mountains. Hold on to your butts. Yeah, it's saying like 13 mile an hour wind gusts. I don't know. I don't know about that. Webcams of the vicinity. I don't expect to see a whole lot of anything. Yeah. All right, back to the live view. I gotta continue eating. And I'm gonna collapse after this. So, last call for questions. Big Al says the Smith Ridge cam shows the firelight spread to the west over the mountain in the last 3 hours. All right, let's take a look. Oops, I didn't mean to close watch duty. Smith. What phone? Shut up. Oh, that's what we were looking at. Yeah. I'm not tired. Look back at chat. Yeah, you said that Smith Ridge cam, right? Shows the firelight spread in the west over the mountain last 3 hours. Yeah. Yeah, nothing really showing right now. But thanks for the link, Big Al. Last call. There's really nothing to see here. It's moving so slow that I can't sit here the rest of the night and then be here for the day. It's 3 in the morning. I ate. Patting myself on the back. Everybody who donated to PayPal, thank you very much. There's a super chat, super sticker option in the chat area. Much obliged too. If anybody can spare a dime, your donation funded. I don't ever want to put ads on these things. It's just not right. And even if you can't spare a dime, do share the stream with others. Just copy the link, text it to somebody who feel might value this info. You too, Big Al. Why aren't you asleep? You're in vacation right now? Yeah. I mean, I'm not quite going yet. I gotta eat. Yeah. I'll bake and check it out. I imagine after 2 p.m. is when stuff gets worse. I mean, the weather gets to be pretty bad. Yeah, you're welcome. I always tell people I'm sorry we don't meet under better circumstances. Let's say, what did I just do? A 15? That's a fast moving wind. I think it's going to be pushed west. Seems to be spreading west. Let's check that heat again. I just cannot understand why the GOES satellite isn't getting heat detections further away. It's just like stuck in this little square. But that is a 4 minute ago update, so it is live. What the hell? McKenzie Highway history. They had, I'm thinking, Lookout Fire and Lookout Mountain. This is Castle Rock, though. It was the finest lookout tower in the Cascade. The Vandals burned it down in 1974. Wow. Hang 'em high. The Rainbow Store. Wow. Oh, look at those gas pumps. I wonder if this building is still around. Probably not. Restaurant and good food. Excuse me. Gotta admit, Rainbow's a cool name. Chicken steak at Phil's place. Phil's Fine Foods. PH was a small family-owned business opened in 1944. It was a cafe. In the next 20 years, they had groceries, clothing, hardware, and even hand-scooped ice cream. Everyone who worked there met both locals and visitors with a smile. Yes, we have it. It was more than just a slogan. Many people, including President Hoover, paid for their fishing licenses at Phil's Fine Foods. Unfortunately, the fire destroyed it in 1993. God damn. Fire's the devil's friend. Devil's only friend. Oh, man. The shipped away natives came back annually to McKenzie River where they would hunt fish, pick huckleberries. Oh, wow, huckleberries. That sounds like a ridiculous name. If they called it some French name or something, it would sound deluxe, but it's one of the world's most incredible foods. Indescribable sweet smell and flavor. A big sockeye, I think. I think that's sockeye. It's hard to tell in black and white. Rainbow. The town of Rainbow is named after the big rainbow trout. There's the Lowell covered bridge. The town of Lowell is underwater. There's like a new Lowell up on the shore. That golf course, fire's looming over it right now. It's cool. The town has a little mini website. Bunch of different little towns. Yes, there's a town called Nimrod. You can't make it up. The grandson of Noah. He was a mighty hunter and a king. How in the world did it get to be a ridiculous name now? Nimrod O'Kelly, Corvallis's honorable murderer? What? The day that Nimrod O'Kelly heard this, he decided that Mahoney was jumping his claim. He loaded his gun, rode straight to Mahoney's home, without a word exchanged, shot him dead with buckshot. Okay, what? Let's see, rewind. Nimrod O'Kelly was born in April of 1780 in Tennessee. He came to Oregon in September of 1845. Settled a claim around what is now Benton County. O'Kelly had claimed 640 acres under the Donation Act. A single person can only claim 320, but he claimed the other 320 in his wife's name. But his wife hadn't arrived out west yet. That was one of the rules. She had to come with you. Otherwise, everybody would pull this trick, right? As the years went by, the other settlers started to believe he didn't have a wife at all. One of these men, by the name of Jeremiah Mahoney, moved onto the far side of that 640 acres, staking his own claim with his family. I see. So, this guy with incredible problem-solving skills. That day, Nimrod O'Kelly heard this. He decided that Mahoney was jumping his claim. I thought it was gold or something to be actually excited about. He loaded his gun, rode straight to the home without a word, shot him dead. After doing so, O'Kelly rode straight to Marysville, which is Corvallis today. Found the sheriff, told him, turned himself in. At the trial, there were no witnesses called, no evidence other than his own story. So at the end, he was convicted and sentenced to hang. Okay. Due to legal delays, it may have been from a legal system not fully developed. It's a nearby town, by the way. The final date of the hanging came down, which was June 9th, 1854. Exactly 2 years from when all this started. Dr. T.J. Wright, the sheriff of Benton County, had a predicament. The hanging was almost a year away, and the town didn't have a jail. So he did the only thing he saw fit. He told Nimrod O'Kelly to go home until he was going to be hanged. Okay. He is reported to have said, "Go home and stay there. I won't have any use for you until 11 a.m. June 9th. But be here punctually then." Okay, they really needed to insert some sort of a date with destiny joke. From October 1853 to June 8th, 1853. Nimrod O'Kelly lived at his house under his own recognizance. He had returned to the sheriff the night before his hanging, and the town still did not have a jail, so the sheriff paid for him to stay in a hotel. Was everybody in the hotel okay with that? Was he like handcuffed to the radiator? Or was he sipping tea? The next morning, O'Kelly ate breakfast and reported punctually at 11 a.m. The court had given the sheriff discretion in the way of the hanging. So, of the way of hanging Mr. O'Kelly sometime between 11 and 1 p.m., but O'Kelly, being a 63-year-old man and fixed in his faith, believed he was going to a better place and wanted to just get over with it. Get it over with, but the sheriff told him they would wait till 1 p.m. 5 minutes before Nimrod O'Kelly was to hang. This is local lore and legend of the town here. 5 minutes before Nimrod O'Kelly was to hang, Governor Davis message got to him. Okay, that's a typo. A message from Governor Davis got to him, commuting his sentence from the death penalty to 1 year in the state penitentiary in Portland. I've never heard of that state penitentiary in Portland before. The sheriff procured an express wagon to Portland. Express wagon. Okay. That sounds like some third class seating for sure. The sheriff procured an express wagon to Portland and employed a man by the name of Bill Geard as guard and escort for O'Kelly. The world's easiest job, I guess. And the world's most compliant murderer. The journey started well enough, but by the time they reached Oregon City, the wagon had to stop and be repaired. Always eager to meet his fate, O'Kelly decided to keep walking to the penitentiary. He walked through the autumn weather in the Willamette woods, thinking the wagon would catch up at any moment. It never did. He crossed the river and waited for hours at the old hotel the wagon was headed to, but they never showed up. At this point, Nimrod O'Kelly walked into the state penitentiary, found the superintendent, and told him the story. Superintendent, believing O'Kelly to be crazy, turned him away. Okay, I do read stories to people so they can get to sleep. Wildfire victim stories, you know. I have such a soothing voice. That evening, Sheriff Wright and Deputy Geard finally arrived and filled out the paperwork to get their money for delivering a prisoner. It took a while, but finally O'Kelly was admitted to the penitentiary. He was such a model prisoner that he was released 2 months before his sentence was to be fully completed. August 1855, Nimrod arrived back to his land, where his family had finally made a home. He also found the widow and children of Jeremiah Mahoney living on the other side of his 640 acres. The Oregon Land Office had awarded them possession of this land. Funny how they take away from Indians and give it to other people. I looked it up. Indians could not apply for this program for obvious reasons. Neither could black people. I don't believe women could either, but I'm not sure. So, great policy. Guess what? There was enough land for everybody, like anybody who wanted it. Oregon's still pretty sparsely inhabited. Didn't have to take it away from anybody. Anyway, spoiler alert. The Oregon Land Office had awarded him, the other family, the possession of that half of the land. O'Kelly wasted no time. Without enough money for even a horse, Nimrod O'Kelly, at the age of 65, set off walking to the nation's capital to plead his case. Sorry, what? Not Salem, the nation's capital? Alone and on foot, he journeyed across the country to the Missouri River, and then to Washington, D.C., where he amazingly won his case. The land was awarded back to him. What the family must have gone through. Like, he must have been like, are you all insane? Okay. So he then turned around and walked back home. Nimrod O'Kelly lived on his land with his family until his death in 1864. He was 74. After he died, he willed the land he killed for, the land he walked over 5,000 miles for, to the Catholic Church. His wife did the same with her half of the 640. I was really hoping he would have deeded it to the poor family. Yeah, I'm guessing that will not buy the way into heaven that he was perhaps hoping. Nimrod O'Kelly's story was still popular in the early 1900s. What was not in his story was that he was a devout fisherman and had even created a lure named after him. These two facts could mean that the Nimrod Inn, and by extension Nimrod, Oregon, was named after this colorful character, and the wildfire threatens it. I think. Can't make this stuff up. Gotta file this under W. Weird. Oh, yeah. Good night, Nick. And Big Al says I'm heading to California on Tuesday. Mammoth on Wednesday, Tahoe on Thursday and Friday. I'm jealous. Sorry. Still a little sick. Yeah, thank you all for being here. It's now time for me to pass out. I'm pretty terrified about this. This is pretty bad. I'm hoping their structure protection or whatever they're doing right now is successful. We're going to find out in the morning. There's no use kind of watching this in slow motion. It's really, there's no use watching this in slow motion. We cannot really understand what's happening because of this white blob, the camera malfunction, blah, blah, blah. All we could see is that it's bad. If we continue watching, we will continue to see that it's bad. And then at dawn, we'll get to see how bad. So let's just go to bed. I tell people don't torture yourself by watching this stuff all night, and I violate my own rules, but really, save your strength. Sometimes your own mind won't want to settle down. You just tell it must. It's a weird thing. It seems all weird and silly and childish. But if you tell your subconscious mind that such and such will help us, it thinks its job is to take care of the body, right? Your body is like the house you live in. The subconscious mind is like the alarm system for the house. It's like the security system for the house. That's its main job. So if it's like, oh no, I'm hyped up. I have adrenaline. There's danger. It's a big dumb animal, right? So tell it, this is what I need you to do. use the word need. I need some rest. That's going to help us. And just explain to it like it's a little child, right? Say it out loud if you're not in public. It's always listening to what you're saying and your thoughts a little bit, but it's always listening to what you're saying the most. So you just say, hey, subconscious mind, I'm making a deal with you. This is what we need. This is what's going to help. And so you keeping me up all night with this adrenaline ain't helping. It's detrimental. So let's sleep, get rest, and that'll help us face tomorrow. And this is what we can expect tomorrow. It sounds so damn silly. Go through these steps. It'll listen to you. Make a deal with it. You're exhausted, but you need to be awake. You do the opposite and say, look, you're trying to make me go to sleep. You're trying to give me fatigue because the body needs that. But these circumstances are serious. We need energy right now. I need you to come through for me. As soon as the serious situation is over, you can collapse. I'll give you all the good food and rest that you want. You do this a lot. Often enough, it gets stronger and stronger every time you make the deal. It will start to obey, and instead of fight you, it'll work with you. It's pretty magical once it starts happening. It's all for just silly damn reason. Don't ask me how. But you have to uphold your end of the deal. You actually do have to go to sleep. It'll force you. When the moment's over, you will hit a wall and just you'll kill over, and you can't lie to it and just get infinite energy out of the situation. It'll mistrust you and hit the buttons to like make you go to sleep, make you drag, make you don't try to force it, don't slam down caffeine. Once the deal is done, you keep your end of the bargain. Now, if you screw up and you break the deal with your body and you push hard and it mistrusts you again, don't worry, it's a big dumb animal. Just start again. It totally will believe you every time. You'll strengthen slowly. You can pull off that trick. You just need to communicate their subconscious. There's a variety of ways to do that, blah, 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 but that's the easiest trick. Especially if you just find yourself watching this, and you just have to say, look, this is not helping us. We can't do anything. We're not getting any information we need to help anybody else. Save the energy for another day. I'm going to uphold my end of the bargain. Tell myself that. Go to sleep. Hopefully I'll be up by at least 2 p.m. when this will take off. It'll take me a while to get to sleep. I gotta get my 10 hours in at least. Just like that. Yeah, thanks, Al. Thanks, Big Al. Thanks, everybody, for being here. And thanks, Prince and Pirate. Let's go to sleep. And remember, just say, we can relax now. Because we've done all we can do. That's all you can do. So let's go to sleep. Sure, Nixie, it's real. I even sound silly and feel silly talking about it, but it's real. It can help you survive. Their different body parts have their own set of fears. It's really strange. So if you get a broken leg or something, and contrary to popular belief, it's you don't snap it into place. It's not a painful way as you set the leg. It's actually a really gentle process that feels better than when you started. But if you hurt a part of your leg, and those muscles will be seized up, they're like frightened. So you just touch them gently to get them to relax and tell them that just relax, relax, like you're calming down an animal, right? And then a person can gently ease broken bone into place or stop the cramp or whatever you're doing. And I've heard of people that get hideously injured in the woods, but they just say, "Hey, I need to like not feel pain right now, and we can do that later. We have to get us out of the situation," and like it stops. I'm not sure that that'll happen at every time, but it hits them later. You know, like this one person crawled on broken legs after a climbing accident to. I crawled for 5 miles to a road, and as soon as a car came by, that's when the pain hit. Right, but your subconscious is in charge of a bunch of powerful buttons. What makes you sleepy? What doesn't? What makes you feel pain? What doesn't? What gives you energy and vim and verve? And what doesn't? Right, the opposite. So that's tip of the iceberg. People can pursue that and go deep into it and study with yogis and stuff. Whatever. I just use the basics. But I'm pretty delighted with the results. It works, so I tell people about it. It's silly. I don't care. I can already start to feel myself relaxing a bit because I'm imagining it. I'm picturing each section of my body giving the order to relax. You can just do it. Just tap. Just take flick your finger. Like if I want my stomach muscles right now, I kind of notice they're a little bit tight. On the count of 3, they're going to relax. And 1, 2, 3, flick. It's called tapping. I don't know if it's biofeedback or whatever the psychologists call that part. But do that for each one of your muscles. Get to the last one, you fall asleep. It's weird, but it works. So good night, everybody, and good luck. And I really hope these towns make it. It was bad what happened today. Our last 12-hour time lapse of situation, in case anybody's looking. I'm hoping the good luck birds in front of the cam are gonna mean that there's like a miracle and the landscape burned up, but they somehow got a break in the weather for a minute and got a handle on it somewhere and saved structures, and we'll find that out tomorrow. Yeah, at that moment we knew it was messed up. But it is completely out of our hands. We did all we could do, which was tell people all the information that we could gather. And we'll do it tomorrow. I'm going to stop telling the world about the places I love. I'm going to stop vocalizing that because some devil is rubbing his hands together every time I explain the places I love. All right, good night, friends. Thanks for being here. Thank you for donations, sharing, subscribing, liking. Hit that like button on the way out, please. And pat me on the head, patting others on the head. Thank you so much, mods. You're amazing. Let's rest up, gear up for tomorrow. I got work to do. So it's time for some serious rest. Sweet dreams.